if you're going to be in a marketing department, whether you're the CMO or anybody else in the marketing department, you have to be prepared to pivot. You do need to be able to change it up in your own career. So talk about a career path. My bias is toward being a jack of all trades.
Moving from a very communication-centric organization where there is just churn and materials and just blah, throwing it all out there from a newsletter and a blog and a an e-alert standpoint, and just not measuring and not saying what are we getting out of this, and moving it back to strategy and taking a much stronger hand and a much stronger air of support in terms of practices and industry groups, and showing them that there's a smarter way to do marketing, and helping them plan and show them that a marketing plan dovetails off of a business plan, and how to implement that and how to measure.
Traditionally, one of the 4 Ps was always pricing, but most of us in this room probably didn't get too involved in the pricing decisions. Maybe we have a functional knowledge of what pricing is and what the hourly rates are, and maybe we give them the 10% discount, or we have to deal with an AFA. But for mostly marketers and law firms don't deal with pricing. It's changing, and it's a good thing. And the reason that metrics is tied to it is because the lawyers are finally realizing that, oh yeah, I guess profitability does matter, and how we report it and how we look at it.
I walk in the door to about 4 or 5 RFPs in process, and saw how much time was being taken of the attorneys that were involved, my team, and lots of hours, as you guys know well. And ultimately, no one was really stopping to say, hey, is this worth the time? And on a daily basis, we'd get one attorney or another throwing us an RFP possibility, and kind of expecting us to automatically just pursue. And that was right away kind of my first time. We got to take a step back and say, wait a second, should we pursue this? You guys all know, of course, there are some RFP situations where an organization is throwing out an RFP just because they have to, even though they're going to stay with the firm they've got. And so we've kind of turned it around a little bit and have the attorneys doing more homework.
I mean, you talk about the game. It's not so much a game, I think, as a skill. In terms of trying to make people happy enough so that they don't become your detractors. Because one of the things that we all know that very smart, independent-minded people who become lawyers like to do is not take no for an answer. And so trying to do the little wins and to some extent playing upon an inherent ADD amongst lawyers so that you can engage them and make them feel like they're being engaged, but point them in another direction. And that's a skill that you have to also, again, I'll go back to parroting this again, pivoting, right? And you can use an external pivot and not an internal pivot, is distracting them into something that's actually more valuable.
That you're going to have a better conversation if you get off your butt and get out of your chair, as I tell the lawyers to do all the time. The lawyers are far less inclined to argue with you in person. They love to bully over email, and they will bully over the phone, but when you're there in person, it's kind of like, whoa, this is one-on-one now? Okay, so you're probably going to have a better resolution.
We spend a lot of our time telling the lawyers you have to develop better relationships with your clients. I think as marketers, you have to develop better relationships with your lawyers. They are your clients.
The website world within law firms has been dominated by the old mantra of we have to find somebody that knows legal marketing to do it. And I'm telling you right now, that's all bullshit. That's complete bullshit. The worst thing that you can do is find a website or digital provider that works only in legal, because that is not the cutting edge. We are not the cutting edge in terms of technology.
Listen, if the chairman's asking for something, our CEO's asking for something, everybody in this room knows you got to get that done, no matter what it is. But we've got a lot of, not as many attorneys as you have, but we have 110 attorneys and a 4-person team, and they all need something today. That's kind of one of the challenges I'm facing right now and trying to help them understand. I think part of it's a good thing because they're seeing that, okay, there's this kind of new machine happening for us, this marketing department that's refreshed, and so all of a sudden they're thinking, hey, we're going to take advantage, and I like that they're seeing that we're there for them and that we can help them with pitches, whatever they've got going. But all of a sudden they're all demanding things immediately and not realizing that, hey, we've got 10 other projects.
In terms of turnaround and all that other jazz, everyone will want everything today. So, my team knows to say, I mean, depending on workload and whatever, if it's a reasonable request with an unreasonable turnaround time attached to it, well, we don't really have the capacity to do this right now. Can we charge the overtime to your practice group? Can we? And then they start going, wait, this is a logistics thing, and there's stuff involved with actually producing this. Because I often wonder how lawyers buy toothpaste. Like, they just don't think the process through. So I think you have to force them to stop and think.
The law is a precedent-driven profession. So everybody wants to know who's done it before and what happened, right? I mean, it's as simple as that, really. And so if you can convince some poor schlub to be your guinea pig for whatever project or a group of them, and focus your energy on that, that's going to be you're going to be much more successful in the end.